Welcome to the Daily B Show, episode 89 with my fine self, Matty B, and Nani Bernal. So I met Nani not too long ago. We were both at the 10X conference over in Miami. However, we didn't meet there. I'm pretty sure we didn't meet there, but we connected through, the abundance of people that were there. Had a chat for the first time the other day, and yeah, she's a little pocket rocket. She's only 24 years old. I'll let her tell a bit more about her story, but she's got a couple of businesses that she's been running. She's just got a really amazing mindset, and I can't wait to share her story and what she's up to with you guys as well. So I'll get it on here, and we'll get this show on the road. Let us know where you're calling in from, if you're watching the replay, what's going on. If you've got any questions for Nani or myself, just chuck them in the comments. We can see them as well. But yeah, let's get going. Hope everyone's having a good day. It's a beautiful Wednesday. Hello, hello.
What's up? What's up? What's up? How are you?
I'm doing awesome. How are you doing over there this fine Tuesday evening in Florida?
Yeah, I'm great, man. I've been working all day. I actually just got off a call like 30 minutes ago, so now I'm here with you. I'm excited. So don't mind if I
Lovely.
look
I love
crazy,
it.
guys. I've been working,
Comes with the territory,
right?
100%. So Nanny, 24 years old, little pocket rocket. How about we start with what you're actually doing with yourself and the businesses that you're operating at the moment?
Okay, so just to introduce myself, what's up, guys? My name is Nani Bernal. I am 24 years old. I'm based in South Florida. Right now, I am on a mission to empower, as many people as I possibly can. I own three businesses at the moment. I own Innovative Moving Solution Corp, which is a moving brokerage. I just recently got involved with a marketing and consulting company for movers, which is Movers Vote. Be on the lookout for that. And I just started up an Empower Accountability group about 30 days ago, and it actually has been taken off. So I got a lot on my plate. And by the way, I'm a mom. I have a 5-year-old little girl, so.
Boom. No one's got any excuses.
I can't
Absolutely
have any
killing it.
excuses. I can't have any excuses. I got to get my ass up every day. And not only because of me, it's because I got a little one watching. And like, as she gets older, it's serious, like how she really is watching my move and she's following my steps. It's to the point now where when I speak to her, she tells me she wants to be a future boss. Or like when I ask her what she is she going to do when she grows up, she's like, I'm going to work with you. Like, I'm going to help you run the business. So it's pretty cool.
That's so cool. That's wicked. I love it. And you said the other day that she's been really getting into the podcast as well. So she's really filling her mind with some pretty amazing stuff as well at such a young age. How old is she as
Yeah,
well?
she's 5, and yeah, definitely. What I do with her every morning is affirmations. I have this affirmation that I love of Tony Robbins that's called "I am the voice." Well, now I am the voice, and me and my little girl do it every morning. The other morning, I actually let it go, keep running while I was putting gas in the car. And when I get back in the car, I see that it's running, and my little girl tells me, she's like, Mama, when you see red and you close your eyes, you just got to take a deep breath. And then I hear what Tony's talking about, and he's talking about seeing red when you start getting upset or when you're blocking your mind. And I thought that was pretty neat. And she requests to listen to either Tony or she'll request to listen to Ed Milet. So those are two of my favorites.
Yeah, beautiful. Little champion. She's going to be a beast as well.
Yeah,
You've kind
little
of kept on
killer.
it, going down that path. So it wasn't always like this, I'm sure. Like you've had to walk through the trenches yourself and sort of walk 1,000 miles to get to this point. And although you are relatively young in the scheme of entrepreneurship and business in general, um, from what it sounds like, you've lived 1,000 lives already. So do you mind taking us back a little bit and walking us through that process of some of the challenges that you've really had to face and overcome in order to
Okay.
create this life and this mindset for yourself?
Yeah, definitely. I don't mind digging in a deep. Some of the followers, if they've been following me, they know a little bit of my story. I am 24 years old, so what I will say is, people, please have perspective. I may be young, but like I always tell everyone, I have old eyes. Even speaking to my mom recently, it's funny because I told her the same thing. I'm like, wow, like I listen to myself and I feel like I've gone through so much life already. And she's like, sometimes that's how life works. So just to tell you a little bit about me. I wasn't always like this. I wasn't always, how can I say, as goal driven for the right things. Like I tell people, I've been a really bad person before, and that's why I want to be so good. And why I realize what my purpose is, because I've been down a very dark road. For starters, uh, so you guys know, I used to sell drugs. I used to do drugs. I used to hang out with the complete wrong crowds. At the age of 12, my parents got a divorce, and it kind of broke me completely. The reasonings for the divorce, my father had another relationship and had a daughter. Kind of crushed my world completely because it really took a toll on my mom, especially, how personal it was and how close to home the situation was. I saw I had to have the strongest woman or strongest figure break, and that kind of sucked. When they got a divorce, it was really ugly. Rather than going about it correctly, they went about it like children, and it put us in a really bad position. My mom ended up having the house that we were in go into foreclosure. She didn't have a job at the time. She really didn't want to involve herself with anyone in our family. A lot of people took side with my dad. A lot of people kind of just left my mom hanging. With that, I took it upon myself to kind of take charge of what's going on in the household. It was just my little sister, myself, and my mom. And how I knew how to make money was just what I was seeing with my older friends and what I was seeing others do. So I got involved with starting to sell drugs. And my concept was, okay, if I'm going to sell drugs, I'm going to be the best drug dealer. If I'm going to do that, I'm going to be the best damn person that's going to do this. So I always knew I had a drive because of the things that I was capable of getting myself into. With that being said, that same year, I actually lost a very good friend of mine because of drug dealing. We got put into a very bad position. And, when a friend tells you they'll take a bullet for you, I never thought that was real until that day. We got into a little altercation with someone that I was selling to, and they ended up pulling out a gun and shooting my best friend right in front of me. You would think something like that would stop me. Unfortunately, that didn't. That just made me feel worse. I was really into soccer. I played soccer for about 14 years, and that was kind of the only thing that would keep me going in the sense of on the right path. I ended up becoming number 3 in my state, and I got asked to play for the Junior Olympics the same year. And the game right before I flew out, I actually tore my ACL. I injured my knee. So that kind of ruined my whole aspiration with my soccer career. 3 bad things happened in a row. I got a freaking hat trick of life going, and I'm literally only 12 to 13. With that being said, instead of taking it like I have a purpose here, I took it as I have no meaning here, so who cares? And then I just went downhill. Started getting into the wrong crowds, started, trying different things, really putting myself in positions that I shouldn't have been in. A lot of the times too, I think about my past, and I kind of think like, holy shit, like how did I make it here still, With that, I was born with Erb's palsy. So you guys know, this arm is a little shorter than the other. Erb's palsy is done by birth. I was pulled out wrong. So I have no nerves, no tendons. If I turn this hand, I can't turn this hand. I was in a lawsuit with Memorial Hospital and the doctors for about probably 10 years, 12 years. And when I was 17 years old, I was granted 2.6 million for my arm. You would think I would be living the good life right now. Unfortunately, another bad hit happened. My family attorney, that's been my attorney for years, he became my business partner in the sense of showing me and my mom investing and, opening up a restaurant. So at the age of 18, I opened up my first restaurant in Kentucky with him. It was more of a derby style thing. And I thought everything was going well until 4 months later when I decided to buy my mom a house. All my accounts were liquidated. I found out that this guy basically wiped me clean and fled the country. Right now, I'm in a case with him right now, trying to figure it out. He actually claimed bankruptcy, so I can't really touch him. which is kind of unfortunate. But yeah, that's a little summary of a little bit of the mishaps that I've incurred. But I've never, I guess, I never let something pull me down. I always let it push me up. Although I was always in that survival mode standing, and I always knew that this wasn't it for me. And it took me having a child to really stop me from my bullshit. I was in and out of juvenile when I was younger because I was a mad kid. I was a really mad kid, man. I was a firecracker. Like, you told me anything, I wanted to fight. You told me anything that I didn't like, I didn't care for it. If you were to tell me I would be in this position that I'm in right now, I probably would be laughing because this isn't what I envisioned for myself. With that being said, all that bad has helped me really figure out what good is and what I want for myself. You know, this last year of being an entrepreneur, I opened my business. Hasn't been, you know, the unicorns and butterflies how every entrepreneur thinks. I had great success in the beginning, and then I had another partner screw me over. And from there, I've just been kind of blueprinting brick by brick my business. And at this point right now, I'm in a very good place mentally. I've lost myself to find myself, and I'm only 24 years old, and I feel like I've gained so much, you know, and I have so much value and so much life to give and explain. I could go on with all the mishaps in my life for hours, you know, and explain it to everyone for hours. But to me, that past stuff is what I used to be, who I used to be. It's not what I'm walking through now. I know that a lot of people think of it, a situation happening to them. I see it as it happened for me rather than happening to me. And that's just sort of how I live my life now, with that concept and that perspective that things don't happen, you know, to you, they happen for you. We're not living life, you know, just to live it. We're living it for a purpose. And I believe that we all kind of forget our purpose, and it's our job to find it along our way, along our path, you know. I always say that I would hate to come to the end of my days and not recognize that person I was destined to be. My goal at the end of my road, and my goal at the end of my mission, is to look at Azahani, which is my real name. Nani's my nickname. Is to look at Azahani and not be completely lost, and kind of know exactly who she was, and to know that I fulfilled as much as possible of becoming that woman.
Beautiful. That's amazing. And I can only imagine, yeah, you could go on for hours about all the mishaps, as you put it. But I want to hear about the transition after becoming pregnant and just that shift, because it is a humongous shift, clearly, from where you once were to where you are now in a really short period of time. And
Man.
so I'd really like to paint as clear a picture as possible what that process was, because I think with people that I've seen it happen a lot with people that have children, but also I don't think it needs to be reserved for that process of having children as well. So yeah, I'd love to hear how that process came about and what it was like for you.
Well, I can tell you this. I really didn't like kids. And I'm not afraid to say this story because my little girl knows that I love her more than anything in this world. I've actually grown to loving being a parent. I'm like the mommest person you'll ever meet. And it's funny because I always call myself a grandma. But when I was 18 years old, a big reason why I decided to keep my little girl was because I came into that money. I thought I would be set. And I thought that finding out I was pregnant, I truthfully took about 10 pregnancy tests. Seriously, like no lie, I took 10 pregnancy tests that day because I couldn't believe it. Like I couldn't believe it. If you were to ask anybody in my family, my friends, would you think she would get pregnant by 18? I promise you, people would be like, hell no. Like, she doesn't even like kids. At that, I like girls and I like guys. And my preference is women. So my family was really like, what? Like, there's no way. I even was like, what? There's no way. I bought literally 10 pregnancy tests. As you know, that's probably like 4 boxes. And I took it. And each one I took, it kept saying pregnant. And I'm like, no way, no way. Next one, no way, no way. Next one, no way, no way. Like, literally, my best friend's in the stall with me, and she's like, Nani, like, there's no way that you're not. I'm like, no, 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 no. Listen, we got to try one more. We took one more and it said not pregnant. And I look at my friend. I'm like, you see, I'm not pregnant. And she's like, you're fucking crazy. Like, you are pregnant. You got to tell your mom. And I was already in my head like, my God, man, like I'm such a freaking disappointment already. I come up with all the crazy situations in the family. You know, I've always been like the black sheep. I'm like, just another thing to label Nani. Now she dropped out of high school. She's consistently getting arrested. She does drugs. Just add another label to me. Like, I'm exactly what you guys said I'm gonna be. I'm pregnant by 18, dropped out, going nowhere right now, guys. Do it, you know? So I remember the day I told my mom, oh my God, I was so scared. I was so freaking scared. I get in the car and I'm with my aunt and I'm with my mom and I'm in the back seat. And I remember us driving and I'm just thinking like, I don't know what to do. Should I keep this kid? Do I tell my mom? Should I just go behind her back and just go do my own thing? You know, like I'm not old enough to have a baby. I don't know what to do. And then I'm thinking, well, I just got blessed with this money. Like, it would be really selfish if, because I just don't want a baby, to not take advantage that I came into this money and that I can't take care of one financially, you know? So I was kind of in the middle with it. And that's what really made me want to not tell my mom, because my mom is very, how can I say, convincing. She will sell you on anything, even if you don't want to do it. And I remember sitting in the back of the seat and I told my mom, I'm like, Mom, you love me, right? And she's like, yeah. And my aunt is kind of driving. And my aunt's like, what's wrong? I'm like, nothing. Like, you'll always love me, right? Like, no matter what. And she's like, yeah, like, no matter what. Like, I'll love you. What's wrong? And I'm like, for real? Like, for real, for real? Like, you promise? And she's like, Nani, what's wrong? And she's like, do you got like HIV? And I like look at her. I'm like, what? Like, what? No. Because that's how far pregnancy was off of her mind. Like, I'm serious. So she's like, do you have something? Like, do you have an STD? Like, I'm like, Mom, what the hell? No. I'm like, okay, you promise that you'll love me. And she's like, if you don't tell me, Nani, right now, like, we're going to pull the car over. Well, she pulled the car over anyway, because I'm like, okay, Mom, I'm pregnant. And legitimately, my aunt hit the brake, and thank God we're on a little street. Like, we're just pulling into my house. My aunt hits the brake, and my mom just was quiet. And I'm kind of like, oh my God, say something, please say something. And she's like, what are you? And I'm like, pregnant, I'm pregnant. And she just turns around, and the first thing she says immediately is, you're gonna go get an abortion. And I look at her and I'm like, okay, we're on the same page. Like, I don't want this kid either. I don't know what I want to do. Like, I can't do it. And then she looks at me and she literally just yells. She gets out the car. I remember she gets out the car and she just yells like, just like, why? Like, what the hell? And gets back in the car and she's like, we're going right now. And I'm like, what? Like, what? Like, I just told you, like, you got to set. No, she's like, no, we're going right now. And in the car, I remember her telling me, like, she was very shocked at first, so she didn't take it good. She was like really hammering me in the car, like, you fucking loser. Like, I told you, like, you're always getting yourself into something. Like, I can't believe this shit. Like, again, Nani, again, you let me down. Again, you like broke my heart again. You know, exactly what I knew was going to be said to me. Like, I'm a fucking loser. Didn't graduate. It's like, what now? Like, you were going to go to college. Like, you're supposed to get your GED. Like, what are you going to do? Like, all you do is sell fucking drugs and all you do is go party. And like, you imagine what you've been, how long you've been pregnant. Imagine what you've been putting in that baby. Like, what the fuck? And I'm just sitting there like, okay, tell me something else that I'm not freaking out about, Mom. So we go to the place and I let her drill me. Like, I'm letting her drill me. And I think that I didn't really soak it in that I was pregnant until I actually walked into that abortion clinic. I walk into the abortion clinic and I speak to the lady, like they take my paperwork, they take my name down. And right before I go into the room, because it's a whole process. It doesn't happen in one day. But right before I go into the room, they kind of tell you, look, you want to see what your baby looks like before you make your decision. And then you can make a decision based off that. And I'm like, kind of like, why would you want to show me this? Like, I don't want to go through with this. And right before I walked in there, my mom was like, Nani. And I turned and she's like, come here. And I walk outside of her and she literally just grabs me and she goes, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm so sorry for what I said to you in the car ride. I'm so sorry for dragging you here without even, really asking you, is this what you want to do? She's like, I'm sorry. Like, I understand things happen. I'm not the happiest. She's like, I'm not the happiest. I'm literally not the happiest because look what else you put on my shoulders. She's like, but I'll be here for you. Now, I want you to go in there and not go in there saying you want to do this. Go in there with an open mind and see what you really want to do. She's like, because look, you just came into this money. We're about to buy a house. It would be the perfect situation. And in my head, it's not the perfect situation because the dad, me and him aren't really ideally together. And I'm 18 years old. And what the hell? I don't want to think of a family. I wanted to go travel the world. I wanted to go open a smoke shop. I wanted to go sell more drugs. Like, my stupid mindset wasn't fucking over. And I'm like, all right, yeah, I'll think about it, mom. I'll think about it. Thanks for saying sorry. Let me go back in there. Because now I'm already uncomfortable. To me, like when someone reacts like that right away and then they try to apologize, I think it's bullshit. I think you just feel bad for me. And I don't want anyone to ever feel bad for me, ever. Sympathy to me is the worst. Like, I don't want you to ever feel bad for me and do something out of feeling bad. Fuck. Like, that for that, I can hold a sign on the street and say, hey, honk if you feel bad for me. I don't want anyone to ever feel bad for me because I don't feel bad for me. So I go into that room and they show me a little picture. And honestly, that picture was a little nothing, right? And I'm looking at this and I'm like, all right, definitely want to do it. Like, I don't want to have a kid. And my mom, and I think this is why I resented her for so long. My mom was like, no, like, you're going to go home after this and you're going to think about it. Like, I promise you, Nani, I know how you are. I know you'll get emotional. Yeah, you're thinking that you want to do this now, get rid of the kid now, but I promise you tomorrow you're going to feel different. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to feel different, but okay, whatever, mom, let's go home. Go home. And now suddenly her attitude is like so different. It's like she's excited now and she's calling people. And that's and it made me mad because it wasn't something that I was still this 100% on. Like, just because I gave you like the okay, you know what? Let me really step back and think if this is what I want to do. I didn't feel like it was really ever my choice. My mom ended up calling people, calling my brothers, calling my dad, calling, family and telling them, oh my God, Nani's pregnant. Oh my God, Nani's pregnant. And she's saying it so excitingly. And I'm thinking that's wrong. Like, you're taking something that I don't want to do and you're trying to make me happy for it. And you telling people isn't going to make me happy. You telling people isn't going to force me to do this. And unfortunately, it did. The next day when I told her I wanted an abortion, she just straight up told me no. She told me no. Like, she's like, no, like, I don't want you to do it. Like, I think it would be selfish. Like, you're already, went there. You know how it is. I think that the best decision for you is to keep it. And she's like, and if you don't keep it, I'm never going to speak to you again. And I'm kind of like, well, thanks, mom. Like, thanks. Like, thanks again for putting me in another situation where you say I make you feel bad and I disappoint you, but it's like you put me on the platform too, every single time. So I just looked at her and I'm like, okay, mom. And throughout my pregnancy, I had an amazing pregnancy, but I hated it the whole time because it wasn't what I wanted to do. Like, I didn't want to have a kid. And I'm being honest with people, I don't want to be fake and I don't want to, tell a fake story because I think the transition of who I am now and how I am as a mother is actually a beautiful process because it made me embrace my child even more. For that 9-month period, I didn't want to be with a father either. So it was like a fucking shit show. with him and my mom loving this idea of a perfect family and me literally being miserable, like miserable. This isn't a time in my life I want to be happy. Like I'm seeing my friends and my friends are out, my friends are partying. I still didn't stop selling drugs. I'm still selling drugs. I'm pregnant. I was miserable. I felt so shitty about myself. And it was kind of like that belly was just a sign every single time. Like, yep, you dropped out of high school, and yep, you got pregnant like everyone thought you would. And yep, you don't even want it. So yep, good job for you, Nani. Another one in the freaking books for you, Nani. And every single day, I enjoyed being pregnant more than being a mom because I didn't want to look towards actually having the reality of holding the kid, having the reality of being a parent. So comes closer to me having my child due date, and I'm starting to feel her kick, starting to see, sonogram pictures, starting to see the whole process of my little baby being born. Being created, and I still, I still didn't feel it. I still didn't feel proud. I felt ashamed. Like I felt embarrassed, like my mom was so happy and everyone would say I look so good, but I'm like, dude, I'm 18 years old. I have nothing to show for myself. Yeah, I got this money that I was born into, but really I'm not even seeing the results of that right now. And then I was just like, you know what? I guess the positive is that I have this money and at least I can raise the kid, right? Comes closer to the due date. I get a scare like of my water breaking, and I was freaked out. Like I was freaked out. I was like, oh my God, it's almost here. Oh my God, like my life's about to change. Like I'm really gonna be a parent. Like I gotta keep this kid alive. Like I gotta keep a kid alive for the rest of their life, really. Due date comes, and that day was like hell, man. My mom once again put me in a situation where I wanted to take medicine for my labor. I wanted to have an epidural. My mom told me no, that women do it naturally, that we were made to do it naturally, and that if I took the epidural, she wasn't going to be in the labor room, the delivery room. And of course, again, me caring so much about my mom and her opinion on me, and not realizing that what she was doing was wrong, like always putting me in a bad position like that. What do? I don't take the epidural. I tell the doctors, no, I'm fine. I'm strong. I can do this. Um, Labor went for an hour extra than labor went then for an hour extra than what it's supposed to do. When you're natural labor, you can only push for 2 hours. My delivery doctor thought I was on an epidural because we kept going back and forth with it for so long. He thought that I was on epidural, so I was pushing for an hour extra. Namaste. And myself, I almost passed away because I lost so much blood and my body was in such a shock. My heart rate was dropping and my daughter's heart rate was dropping. And I think, honestly, dude, and I say it to this day, that day was like the most magical day of my life because I had to mentally calm myself down from feeling like a train is going right over me, dude. Like literally. I remember the doctor coming in, like busting in the door, like he puts a oxygen mask on me. He tells a bunch of people to leave, and he's like, how long have you been pushing? And I tell him 3 hours, and he said something like a code something. They bring in a blood pressure machine. They put the oxygen tank up. He tells me, he's like, look, I need you to do this for me. I know it hurts. I know you're in pain right now. He's like, but you've been pushing for an hour longer, and I need you to calm yourself down. And I'm like thinking to myself, like, how the hell can I calm myself down? I can't take this pain any longer. I chipped my tooth from my birth. That's from my birth. I busted it. I busted like 3 blood clots in my eyes. It was really intense. And that day I had to calm myself down mentally. I had to take the pain and numb myself. And all I was thinking was, man, I'm about to lose my freaking life right now for a kid that I don't even want. And this is supposed to be one of the happiest days of my life, right? I end up calming myself down. I told everyone to get the hell out the room. I calmed myself down, and I just remember my dad. My dad was really the one that helped me like calm down. My dad was like, by my side, like kind of like a little angel, like rubbing my head the whole time, telling me like, you got this, baby. Like I hear him praying. I hear him like, I hear him the whole time, like, please, like God, like don't let this be over for her. Please, like this is my little girl. Don't worry, baby, you got this, you got this. And then I push namaste out. Like literally, I within like 10 minutes, I push namaste out. When I push namaste out, I'm still in such a shock right now. Like, holy shit, like this is really the change of the rest of my life. Like now, like this isn't a game. Like this is my kid. This is like I have to take care of her. Like this is go time. They put the baby in my arms and like I have the picture till this day. Like I'm literally looking at her kind of like what is this? Like what the heck? Like oh my God. And she came out with like a cone head. So me being so young, I'm like, is her head gonna be like this forever? So that was kind of like, what the heck? And I know people are probably like, this girl's insane, but I'm just being honest with you guys, you know? And I
It's good.
remember, I remember, 3 days of being in the hospital because you're there for about 72 hours until the doctor gives you a go. I thank God I didn't need to get a blood fusion. I almost lost that much blood from it. I remember being in the hospital and I was kind of like, I don't want to leave here. I don't want to get out of here yet because I don't think I'm ready yet. And I think everything started hitting me that like, how can I be so selfish? Like, how can I not love that the fact that I just had another life inside me? Like, how can I not love the fact that I just had a kid and I survived it and my little girl survived it? Like, how can I change my life completely from what I'm doing? I'm selling drugs still. Like, I'm not, I'm real ideally in my head thinking, I'm not prepared for this. Like, I'm not prepared for this. And I remember the day that the doctor came in and said, you can go ahead. Like, we're going to clear you. That way you can leave and you can take your baby home. And I remember that day I was so nervous. Like I was so nervous. Like my palms were sweating. I kept puking. And my mom's like, maybe it's the medicine. And no, it was because I had the worst nerves in the world. Like I knew that I was about to enter the next step of my life and that if I failed this one, like you're really a fucking loser, Nani. Like if you let this one damn thing down, then you really are, you're done. You're freaking done. I remember sitting in the wheelchair because they push you out. And I remember holding Namaste. And I remember just looking at her and I'm like, wow, like this is me. And as they're pushing me, it was kind of like life was flashing by me. And it's really weird. And I'd explain that I was feeling all the time. Like as I'm going down the hospital, hallway, I see all these people like saying bye to me and oh my God, and my mom's smiling and my sister's laughing. And to me, everything's going slow motion, like no lie, like everything's going slow motion with the activities around me. But in front of me, I just see my life like flashing from like when I was a kid to like my bad moments to the pregnancy day, like everything just and like it's literally like that until I go down the elevator and I get into the car. I get into the car and my mom looks at me and she's like, what's wrong? And I just start crying. Like I break down. And my mom's like, what's wrong? My sister's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, what if I fail at this too? Like, I'm just a baby. Like, I'm just a kid. Like, I don't even got myself together. Like, what if I fail at this too? Like, did anyone think of that? Like, did anyone ask me like how broken I've been feeling since like this has happened? I'm like, I'm not happy right now. And I don't think I'm gonna be a good mom. And my mom starts crying and she's like, Nani, like you're here for a reason. Like you had this little girl for a reason. She's gonna be the biggest blessing for us. Like she's gonna teach you so much and she's gonna change your life. And for some reason, I didn't really care for that. I didn't want her to change my life. Like I don't think that was her job to change my life. I thought it was my duty to want to change my life. And I end up going back home with my little one, and the first month was really tough. The first month was like really tough, and the first year was really hard to get grip of. I'm not in college right now. Um, I don't have my GED. I have to stop selling drugs and be an adult. I have to give up a lot of my lifestyle, and that first year of being a mom wasn't enjoyable for me. And then I met this girl that loved my kid. And I would have to say she's a big part of why I am the mom I am today. She helped me see like the love in my kid like no other, because I saw a stranger come into my home and love my daughter like it was her own. And then I thought to myself, like, wait, why don't I feel like that? And then like she started showing me perspective, like, maybe this is gonna be your only kid and this was your only chance, like you love girls, or like maybe this was to save your life. Like maybe that next move that was gonna be made for you was the last move for you. Like maybe this is a blessing in disguise. And not all the time are we happy with the blessings in disguise until we see that it's a blessing. And that year, I got in a relationship with this girl, and ever since then, me and her have been raising my little girl. And I thank her every day, and my father for showing me how to be a great fucking mother. I've started falling in love with the process of seeing this little girl adore me, and seeing like, it's crazy because we say DNA, and it really is crazy that like my little girl doesn't know me, but she knows traits like me. She has a little attitude like me. She like, like she looks like me. And like as she got older and older, I'm like, oh my God, this is me. Like this is my purpose. Like this is my reason. Like God knows that I like pressure, and he knows what pressure can I put on you at all times. You like all eyes on you, now you got a real fucking eye on you. And now you got real pressure on you. And you know what? This pressure is the pressure that's never expecting anything from you, because they're only expecting what you give them. And I'm like, how the heck did this little ball of joy teach me this? So then I started, stepping back. I stopped selling drugs. I moved from the city that I was in. I went completely ghost on people. I grabbed my things. I moved out of the house I was currently in. I moved all the way to an hour away. I got a job at Outback, which sucked. I hated it so much, but I was thinking, you know what? If I'm gonna change, I need to make myself do something I never do, and with that, I hated it. My life sucked. Like I changed myself completely, but I hated the situation that I was putting my little girl in. But it just kept me to keep going. And now can I imagine my life without my little girl? Hell no. If you go follow me, you see my story with my little girl, I'm consistently trying to make my little girl a leader. I'm consistently always involved with my kid. I'm all in on my little girl. And I don't think I will stop being all in on my kid. And I'm kind of ashamed to even know that I didn't enjoy the whole process of her being born more. And I'm kind of ashamed to even know that I didn't even want her at one point, because it's like, how could I even think of that idea when you see this little angel? She's perfect, and not because she's my kid, but because literally, like, you meet this bundle of joy, and everybody that meets her tells me the same thing. She's a freaking blessing. Like, she is so smart. Like, her God-given gift is to come in a room and light that shit up. Because I'll tell you this much, she's brought so much happiness to my family. She's brought so much purpose to me. She teaches me so much every single day. Like, I got to give the credit to who I am today to my little girl. Like, I have to, because that little girl holds me accountable to everything. And the more the older she gets, the more she knows. The other day I slept until 6, and she kind of woke up and was like, you get up early. Why are you sleeping still? And I'm like, okay. I said a curse word. She heard me talking to my dad the other day saying, oh, I want to, have not as much of a dirty mouth, because I'm like a freaking pirate over here. And my little girl goes, I'll help you. You buy me a Barbie every time you curse. And I'm like, okay, sounds like a deal. And now the little shit hears me all the time. She's like, I get a Barbie, but like, she's always holding me accountable, and she's always making me realize that like she's watching me. So I got to be great. I got to do this for her. I don't want to leave this world knowing that she's not set.
Yeah, absolutely. That's full on, and yeah, well put and beautifully told, hun. One thing that I'd like to sort of hear you touch on is just the correlations of your life the way it used to be, selling the drugs, being a rebel, being a hothead. But if and what are the attributes of the character that you were building within yourself then, like you spoke about the blessings in disguise, that now you're able to implement now with being a mother and being an entrepreneur and a business owner, because that's what life is. Like, life is just one big blessing in disguise. And so I'd love to hear
Yeah.
your take on your experiences back then. Like you said, like you felt like a fucking loser, and I think a lot of us can relate to that, being in that space and doing those things, looking for acceptance and all sorts of ways of fulfilling ourselves just in unresourceful ways, like dealing drugs and being a hothead and doing those sorts of things. But yeah, what are the skills and attributes and characteristics that transfer now that you really can bank on and utilize, and that you do lean on, that you built back then?
I would say everything, honestly. The way I hustled, the way I didn't let anyone fuck with me, the way that I was passionate. Like, my thing is, all the traits that I have now are the same traits I carried with me back then. And that's why it was so frustrating, because I could do such great things. I had such a badass mind as a youngin'. Like, seriously, like, I think of it, my biggest regret is that I didn't do personal development before, that I didn't lose myself a lot younger. Because if I lost myself a lot younger and I wanted to get on this mission, bro, 24 years old, you'd be talking to me, I'd be a multimillionaire right now. Because I would be putting everything that I do right now into myself when I was younger. And I saw that for me, I was around that. My mom, she would take me with her to her seminars. My mom was the hardest freaking working woman in the room. And I always tell people, I loved being bad because of the power I had, and the capability I saw of doing something and turning nothing into something. Like, I was 14 years old and I was bringing in $8,000 a month. Like, I was taking care of my mom. Like, what? Obviously it takes a smart ass kid to figure out, okay, this is this number, this is that, this multiplies this, let me make this operation, let me do this, let me do that. I had like a business going on, and it wasn't really a business, and it was because I thought quick, and it was because of survival mode. And with that, I always have to give myself that. I always figured it out for me. I always, stuck with, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to be the best person in the room doing it. And although it was bad traits and I was doing bad, it made me realize, look how good you could do doing bad. Like, look what the hell you're doing, and you're doing bad. I had 2 cars. I had a beautiful freaking penthouse. I had all the friends that you can imagine, and I had so much money. And I'm thinking, wait. What if your dumbass invested this into a house? What if you invested this into personal development? And then I started seeing that, I could be bad and I feel good about it. But what if I started doing good and I took my talents on actually working on something that's going to, be good for my future? I think what held me back from doing that is I was scared of what people were going to say. I was scared that people were going to judge me for wanting to do the right thing. I was scared that people were going to be like, wait, you want to be a business owner now? Like, you want to tell people about your story? Like, good luck having people follow that. And then I realized I never let anyone fuck with me before, and I obviously never cared what people thought of me before. Why am I going to care now? And I realized that people looked up to me so much when I was doing bad. Like, I would walk into a room, and I hate to say it, but I would get a lot of respect. And I would get a lot of respect from older people. And it was to the point where, no, you don't fuck with Nani, because like there's some really bad things that would happen if that goes down. And I hated that. And people thought I loved that, but I hated it. Than the person I am, than the person that I wanted to become now. With that being said, man, I would say like my grit, my hard work, like my work ethic. I always wanted to be the best person in the room. And rather than wanting to be the best bad person in the room, I wanted to be the best person in the room now. And I want to be able to take my journey and my story and tell you exactly this. Look, I'm not here to say I'm better than you. I'm here to tell you that I'm still on my mission to discovering who I am. And I still got a long way to go, but look at where I'm at. I'm not in the street no more. I'm not taking drugs anymore. I'm not with the wrong people anymore. Now those people that I was with, now they're contacting me, asking me, how can I change their life right now? How can I put an impact on them? How am I doing it? And you know what? That's why I'm doing this. And that's why I'm putting myself out there, because I want to reach out to people like that, because we need that. You know, I've tried to kill myself 3 times in my life. I've gotten a wake-up call 2 times in my life. You know, I've gone through a lot of bullshit, and I never, ever, ever, ever let that perspective of why me freaking kill me. I always think this happened to me for a reason. What's the reason? Let me keep going. And I think back then I had a survival mode of, I got to make this much. I got to do this. I got to care for my family. I got to take care of me. That always stuck with me, that I got to take care of my family. I got to do this. I got to do me. I got to do this. I got to take care of my family. And just like it is right now, if I didn't have that, I got to do this attitude, I wouldn't have 3 businesses and a beautiful home right now. And I'm 24 years old.
I fucking love you.
I love you too, man. I'm telling you, I love you. I can't wait to meet you. I can't wait to actually meet you face to face. We're going to kill it. We're going to kill it. We're going to kill it. And I can't really see the comments, so I don't know if anyone's asking questions or if there's any comments going on.
There's just been a lot of love being thrown your way. There hasn't been too many questions yet, but if you just swipe right or left, you'll see them. So is there anything really that you recognize, just generally speaking, that people struggle with a lot and that are coming to you with just frequently at the moment? Like, what's a common conversation that's coming up that people are struggling with that you seem to sort of get around?
You know what? A lot of people are coming to me saying 2 things. I don't, and this is, they're not saying it directly, but this is what I'm getting from it. 1, thank you for speaking a silent battle out loud. Okay. Another perspective that I'm getting is, holy shit, you impacted me with the same story that happened to me. How are you doing it? So a lot of people have been reaching out to me saying, like, man, like, this happened to me too. You know, hey, this happened to me too. Or you look, like, I've been dying to say this because I've been feeling this, and you just said that on this live, and oh my God, I'm so inspired that you did that. Now I want to do this. See, I realized that my impact that I'm having is because I'm being so raw with it. And I wish a lot more people were like that. I'm not trying to motivate you. I'm trying to inspire you. Like, I literally don't want to motivate you, because if I motivate you, you're just going to get going for a moment and you're not really seeing the purpose of who you are. The whole thing that made me like this is that I've discovered my identity. I've been discovering my purpose. And the first thing that happens is, you got to admit you're broken. You got to admit that you're lost. Like, if you can't admit that to yourself, you got a hell of a way to go. Because I know some grown-ass people that tell me, oh, I know who I am. You don't know who you are. Like, you don't know who you are. Oh, I love me. Okay, tell me this right now. You love you? What's the best quality about you? Oh, I mean, I got to think about that. No. You ask me, what do I love about me? I love everything about me. What's the best quality about me? That if I come into a room, you're going to feel my fucking energy, because I know now that I carry such a big purpose that everybody I meet, you got to know who the hell I am. You got to know my story. How can I help you? I don't even want, not how can I service you? How can I help you? Like, what's going on with you right now? Because I remember being that lost. I remember being in a room full of people feeling the freaking loneliest. I had all the friends in the world and I still felt like I had nobody. And there's still times like, 2 weeks ago, I get down on myself. But then I realized, like, look at this impact that I'm having on people, that I'm inspiring people. I got to inspire myself sometimes. And the reason why I want inspiration over motivation is because the root word of inspiration is in spirit. In spirit means that touches your soul. If you feel that, you're going to move with that. But motivation, it's temporary. I get you motivated, I get you pumped, and then it can go away. But when you're inspired, you get going, you get fucking rolling. And that's just what I want people to do, is consistently get rolling with who they are, the identity of them. And to be okay to say, I was broken, but now I'm found. Or I was broken, and now I'm rebuilding myself. I just told a girl that I'm coaching, look, I'm broken. I'm still broken. I'm like, I'm not even to the person I want to be just yet. And I'm broken, but I'm fixing the pieces piece by piece every day. And right now, the phase of my brokenness, I've already built my feet. I built myself from my feet, my knee to my feet down. And she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, because now I'm standing firm. You know what I mean? So I'm broken, but now that I'm right here, I got my knees, I got my feet on the ground, I know where the hell I want to be. And it's okay to say, hey, I was broken, but now I'm rebuilding. It's just like building a freaking business. You got to build yourself brick by brick. And the only person that's going to be realistic with you is you. If you can't be realistic with yourself, you got a long way to go, because you got to build that confident level with you. You got to build that confident level with who you are and who you want to be. Today I went on the live and everyone, was rooting me on. But the one thing I wanted to let people know is we get consumed by saying, like, why did this happen to you? You got to find your why. Yeah, find your why, but don't ask yourself why. You're asking yourself why. You're already questioning yourself. Oh, I found my purpose, but I'm trying to figure out my why. What? No. You got to figure out the what. What am I doing this for? What am I doing this for? Because then when you realize what I'm doing this for, you're going to have so many reasons behind a why, and with that being said, that this gets me so fired up, because it's like, I just want everyone to figure out who they are sooner than later, man, because the sooner, the better. Like, I've never felt so content in my life, Matt. And I'm not even done finding who I am. But already knowing that I'm this close to getting closer to what I'm destined to be, it makes me freaking gratified, man. I'm helping people. I'm helping myself. I feel happy. I'm identifying myself with who I really am. I'm trying to discover, my real purpose. And as I'm doing that, I'm being fulfilled, my man. Like, fuck happy. I'm fulfilled. Fuck feeling bad. I'm content. I don't feel no empathy on the fact that, somebody has a hard life. You got a hard life, or you got a hard situation because you are a fucking killer. Like the people that have the saddest stories and the most hardships, we're only hard because we're in that one perspective of why me. And that's why I hate that. What's your why? Fuck that, because people don't understand that question. They don't know why me. They don't know their why. They just question themselves. And it really frustrates me, because I just want the world to know you have such a greater purpose than what you really think, man. You are here for such a greater reason than what you feel today. Like, I say, everyone thinks life is hard. This is life. This is life. This table, that's fucking hard. What's hard about this around us? Nothing. We only make it hard, We only see it in a perspective. Say, for example, I had a dollar smushed up like this. You're not going to be able to see it, right? Because it's so freaking close. But if I come back here and I show you this dollar, now you're like, okay, this is a dollar. It's all about proximity. The people closest to you make you feel like they can't see you. And that's why you're blind. Sometimes you got to step back and see that it's not a dollar. See that it's $100 fucking bill. And we don't do that. You know what I mean? We don't do that. And I wish more people did that, because it's okay. We flaunt on not being vulnerable. That's the dumbest shit. You're not going to find yourself if you're not vulnerable. If I wasn't vulnerable, I wouldn't be on this live right now talking to people. If I wasn't vulnerable, I would probably still be doing fucking drugs and not being a mom. If I wasn't vulnerable, I literally would probably still be drinking and driving. You know what I mean? I freaking have grown so much in different levels, but I've experienced so much at different levels. I stopped being a drug dealer. I stopped doing drugs, but then I got a really good sales job, and I fell in love with fucking drinking all the time and cocaine, because I was still fucking sad. I was still trying to figure out who I was. And then guess what? I got in a terrible fucking car accident. I got arrested 2 times that year as an adult for drinking and fucking driving. And I got a kid. What the hell was I doing? You know what I mean? So it's like, I try to see things in perspective, and every perspective I got is like, you're fucking here for a reason, girl. Get up, girl. Do something, girl. And that's what I want to tell everybody. You're here for a reason. Get up. Do it. Be it. Feel it. Because if you're not, you're missing the fuck out. This isn't something that's planned for us. We can't handle we can't predict the future. Like I told you yesterday, we can't predict the future, but we sure as hell can deter our path to where we want to go. You know what I mean? And I choose every day when I wake up in the morning to go be fucking great. Whether beast mode's activated or beast mode's not activated, I know the person I'm always going to be is the person that's always going to fucking push. Whether life hits me hard as fuck, or life comes and shows me, here goes all your blessings in one. I know that no matter what, I'm here for a purpose, and my purpose is to serve people.
That's amazing. And it really is like when you open up, when you let yourself be vulnerable and let yourself be seen, but also, you know, to be able to do that, there needs to be a level of acceptance from what you've been through. And like you touched on earlier on, the blessing in disguise, I think, is what it encapsulated your whole story perfectly. And the massive message to pass on is that people are so caught up in their shit, in feeling like life is hard or their experiences were fucked. But ultimately, until you start accepting it all, loving it, being so grateful for it, and really noticing and identifying that blessing in disguise of what's going on, you can't open up and be that vulnerable. But there's that two-step process that I think you've fucking nailed, Hunt, and it's so inspiring to see. And you're using your story, like you said, and I've noticed it too, when we open up and we share our vulnerabilities, the floodgates open and people just come out and say, I felt exactly the same way, I did exactly the same thing. And it gives them an opportunity to draw from our story what's actually amazing within themselves, and then step up to the mark and allow themselves to then start to accept that part of themselves as well. So I think you're doing a fucking amazing job. I love your energy. I love who you are. I love what you're about. And I cannot wait to be on stage over in America with you later on this year.
Let's go.
And we do have one question by one of the guys is, what is your dream goal? Like, what do you want to be in life? Any specific goals or something that you want to achieve?
Okay. You're going to get me talking.
Other than being on stage with Maddie B, of course.
That's a big goal right there. That'd be great. Honestly, right now, I could tell you my goal that I want as my end result and my goal that I'm trying to shoot for right now. So one, I aspire, I'll start like this. At first, I thought I wanted a bunch of money because I didn't understand what my purpose was really. And now my biggest dream is actually to know that I've built a legacy for my little girl. What I'm trying to shoot for, and like I told Matt, I'm really trying to go hard with my Empower group, because by the age of 28, 29, I want to be able to be very well off in the sense of funds. I want to have several businesses going, but my real mission in life, my dream, is I want to be able to be set to the fact that I can go to 50 states and create a community center for youth, teaching them leadership and teaching them mentorship and letting them know that they're not alone. Because I wish I had someone tell me, like, you're not alone. Like, it's okay to let people know you're going through this. And like I was telling him, I think middle schoolers, like younger kids, like that's like your ideal age where like you're going through your shit and you're afraid to say anything. And I want to be able to build a community center with my little girl, travel all over with my little girl, build a community center and have one of the biggest nonprofit organizations nationwide. Because I really feel like the success is going to come when I serve people. The money right now, to me, like obviously money, you need it, but the money isn't what I care about right now. That money shit, it's going to come. That success, that success shit's going to come. What I want to know is my purpose being brought to others. Did I make an impact? I always say the same thing, and this is my line for life. My biggest income is impact. The biggest income for me is impact. I want to be able to impact the world. Like, I want 7 billion people to know my name. And when they hear my name, they're like, yo, like, she was better than Oprah Winfrey, man. Like, you should have heard the things that she conquered. You should have heard the things that she got done. You know what I mean? Like, I learned that I was such a receiver my whole entire life. Such a receiver, such an expector, that it's time now, baby, to be a giver, because I've been given my life 4 or 5 times to make it right, to make it perfect, to be something. So my dream is to be able to impact the world. That's my dream. Not the houses, not the cars, not none of that. Like, my dream is to be a great example for my little girl and to be able to change the world with her.
You're already doing it as well.
Thanks, man. Thanks. I love you, man. I love you. You're great.
You know, it's only 3 degrees separation between you and a billion people.
Yeah.
Less than. Yeah.
Billionaire in the making.
Yeah. Yeah. It's already been made, hun. It's just time's got to catch up.
Exactly. I believe that I have a hero that I'm always chasing, because the hero that I'm chasing is the person that I'm aspiring to be. And if I have that person that I'm chasing 10 years from now and 10 years come, I want to keep chasing that person. That way in my life, I have something to always continuously look for and something to continuously want to reach, you know? And I believe in I believe in anti-heroes too. I actually wrote something about anti-heroes. This is a great book of sauce. So you guys know if anything were to ever happen to me, this is going to go on sale for thousands of dollars, okay?
Millions of dollars.
Oh,
Don't undercut yourself.
Yeah, you're right. You really are right. You know what, man? Why can't you live in Florida? It would be great if you could live in Florida. I can't wait till you come here. Sorry, man. I have so much stuff in here. I'm gonna find it. I have to tell you guys this. Did that answer? Whose question was that?
Imran's, I believe.
Imran, man.
Yeah, it did.
I love this guy. Me and him got on a live today. You know that Imran is in Pakistan. And that's crazy to me,
yeah?
'cause I told him I told him today, I'm like, man, like, you're really letting me know that I'm really, you know, changing the world over here. Like, I got friends in all places. What the heck? Sorry, man. I feel I should have had it. Okay. So
That's okay.
I'm gonna give you guys some takeaways right now. 1 second. All right. I'm gonna give you guys some takeaways right now. Okay? Live by your own sword. No one else can decide your destiny. When you walk through trauma or have a hard upbringing, it's one of two paths. You're either going to be a victim, and this is going to define you, or this is going to be the leverage that you need to get in the place that you're going. Okay, now I will say that again because this helped me understand so much. When you walk through trauma or have a hard upbringing, it's one of two paths. And that's why I always talk about perspective, because it's perspective. You're either going to be a victim and you're going to let this define you, or you're going to leverage it and let it define where you're going. Okay? Sometimes it's more powerful to have an anti-hero than a hero. Okay? Now, having that realization is realizing someone that you don't want to be. You know, and it sounds really sad to say this because most people won't get it, but it's not a sad thing at all. I want to be able to set my kid up. Like, my main goal in my life is, like, when I leave this world, I don't want my kid to worry, like, what am I going to do for funeral plans? Like, what am I going to do, like, with my life? Like, what am I going to do now? Like, I don't ever want my kid to feel like she doesn't have a way, right? Unfortunately, if my parents were to die today, they would have left me with nothing. Like, nothing, okay? Like, in the sense of, my mom doesn't have property. My mom struggles. Like, my dad, he will probably leave me a house, but he will leave that to my kid. Besides that, he wouldn't be able to give me anything, you know? And I think that I want to be able to be a good example for my kid. And my mom and my dad are kind of everything that I don't want to be, in a way, you know, for my future. And those are my anti-heroes. And I don't care what anyone says. Judge me if you want to. I love my parents to pieces. But did they leave me well off? No. They didn't leave a plan for me. You know, they didn't leave something for me. So I think an anti-hero is someone that you love very closely to, but it's someone that you don't want to live up to. You know, like, I don't want to live my mom's life. I don't want to be in the position of my dad right now, working his fucking ass off at 40, trying to rebuild his business. Although, shout out to you, Dad, Pro Irrigation Systems, best irrigation company in South Florida. Contact him. My man's going places because it's never too late to go places. But for me, I don't want to go places at 40. I want to be going to freaking on the beach, drinking a pina colada with my feet in the freaking water. You know, I don't want to worry about struggles. So my anti-hero is, you know, the influences that I have in my life that didn't leave nothing for me. Now, having that that realization that life is happening for you, and that understanding that it's not happening to you, you know, and that's something I spoke about. And then I'll leave one more takeaway.
That's huge.
Find meaning in what has happened to you. I am the woman I am today because of what I've walked through. Repurpose this mess in your life. Repurpose your structure in your life. Don't use your old story as your recent one. And that's what I try to, like, separate. Like, yeah, everyone wants to hear my story because it's cool. And, like, yeah, it kind of made me, but that's not who I am. I would love to tell you the story of who I am now, and the struggles that I've been enduring now, and the person that I'm walking to be now, you know. Identify your trigger. You're in control of your life. And if you can say something to someone that can change someone's world, do it. We hold back a lot on, you know, doubting what we can do for others. For Imran, exactly, that guy, for example, I've been talking to Imran in messages for the past 3 months, and this guy has sent me the nicest messages, like, ever. And today was the first time that I got on a live with him, and he told me that was the first live he's ever done. And ever since he started following me, it gave him a retract to wanting to do his business again, to writing goals down, to getting a routine in place. And my man's in freaking Islam. I don't even know him. You know what I mean? But I love you, Imran. Shout out to you, man. Like, shout out to you. When I start getting really big and I got conferences and shit, you're front row, free VIP every single time. Mark my words. Mark my words. So you better keep this, because I know he's probably going to, when I do get really big and I have an Empower conference, you know he's going to want to he's going to want a premiere seat.
We'll hold it to it, Imran.
Yeah.
I love it. And thank you so much for opening up and for sharing, for allowing yourself to be seen, and for just sharing your energy with everyone and really being an amazing example of what life can be like and what your mindset can be like. And I put on the title Hustle to Happiness. I think it was what I put on there. And it really is like, you really are setting a really good example for everyone out there as well. And really transcending all the bullshit, blame and excuses and justifications that people come up with, and really putting them to bed, and really giving people no excuses no reason to hold on to them as well for themselves, but actually not only to let go of them, but also to really accept what they've got going on for themselves, and to turn that into their gifts and really find that diamond in the rough, or that blessing in disguise, as you put it. So, and I'm all about what you're doing and where you're at and who you are.
Pressure makes diamonds. Right. Pressure makes diamonds. And that's why I created my Empower group, man, because I just want people to know that you're in power of your life. You're in power of the direction of who you are. You're in power of, you know, everything that happens to you. We can either cry about it, or we could, you know, keep trying to be great. And I want everyone to know that push that's always like in the back of your head, should I do it? Should I not? Should I do it? Should I not? Always do it. It's all about just executing. For example, doing Empower, that was like the biggest risk for me recently. Like, I've been so timid to do it, and I just told my ass, get up, girl, do it, girl. And now I'm doing it. So I want to shout that out. If there's any ladies watching, I do have an accountability group that's strictly 90 days, because 21 days creates a habit, 90 days creates a lifestyle. And I would love to have you a part of it. I also have a co-ed group for men and women. Would love to have you a part of it. And yeah, just reach out to me in any way I can help you. And even if you don't want to be in Empower and you liked what I had to say, follow me, ask me anything you need. I'm here for you. I'm proud of you. And I love you guys, man. Thank you. Seriously. And you, man, thank you, brother. Like, for even having me on your show, for taking the time to speak to me yesterday. Like, you're great. And I can't wait to see where you go in your journey. And I can't wait to be a part of it and help you with it as much as possible. Like I told you yesterday, I feel like I've known you for years, like, no bullshit. And I love you, man. And I'm proud of what you're doing. Like, you're making a great impact on people too. I see you always bring women on here, and I love that. Women empowerment all the way. And you're such a genuine person. So if anyone hasn't connected with Matt, freaking do it, because the guy's great. All right.
Get amongst it. So I've tagged you in the link here, obviously, for your Facebook, but is there anywhere else specifically you'd like to direct people to, or is that the best place for them to connect with you? Or?
You could connect with me on my Facebook. I also have an Instagram where I'm a little bit more, I guess, a little more energized on there. So if you guys want to check that good stuff out, Azonani, AZONANI. I'll also comment below with it. That way you can follow me. As you saw, the light just went out, but I promise you I paid my bill. It's not like old times. It's not like old times. All right.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thanks for joining us. Stay tuned for another episode with Michael Laria in about an hour's time. But Nani, thank you so much, hon. Really amazing. I'm looking forward to it again.
I need one thing from you. One thing from you. I need you to end this with a let's go. Like, I need a let's go from you. Like, a let's go. Like a Nani, let's go. So I'm going to thank everyone. Thank you for allowing me on this and even watching me. I'm going to end mine with a big let's go. But I need Matt.
Let's go, baby.
Yeah, there we go, man. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, man. Have a good night, brother.
You too, hun. You too. See you guys. Enjoy.